they call it one of the hardest divisions to predict in world football? It is the EFL Championship, with 10 teams sitting at the top of the table with just 4 points. Who's going to be the one to come out on top this midweek? We'll take a look at that and more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. Today we're looking forward to match number 3 out in the Championship, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new, where you been, boys? Smash your subscribe and keep you bang at it. All things Championship related, Blackburn Rovers related, world football related, we're going to know here, boys. Under one Rooski. That's right, Rovers are in the mix in that cluster of 10 teams that sit at top of the table, of course. But will they be there at the end of match number 3, of course, this midweek? We'll take a look at that and more, of course, in just a second. Of course, big shout out to the VIPs. They are the Patreons, boys and girls. Thank you for your love. And if you are new, smash the old subscribe, smash the thumbs up, and smash the little bell as well. Also checking the links. I'm on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course Patreon, and also a Discord. Free to open. Get in there, of course. But anyway, let's get cracking, of course, and review match number 2 and see how we all got on with our predictions last time around. I don't think I did good in the Championship, but we'll talk about it because it is a hard-ass league to predict. And of course, we'll show you who is showing off their prediction muscles at the top of the prediction league after just a couple of weeks. Of course, Peterborough against Derby. What a game. What an end to the game. It looked like it was going to be a 0-0 draw before Derby took the lead, and then of course Peterborough not only equalised, but they got a winner. Goodness gracious me, 2-1. That's why we love football. That's why we love the Championship. I love the Premier League more, though. You know what I mean. I want the money. I want the money. 2-1 win though for Peterborough. Big win for them. Another shit show for Derby. Birmingham City up against Stoke. I went with the 2-1 win for Birmingham. 0-0 draw it was in the end. Blackpool also got beat at home against Cardiff. 2-0 win in the end for Cardiff. Good win for Mick McCarthy's boys. Barnsley though, one and done. Got the win in the end over Coventry at home. They need to win those as well if they're going to be competing again this season. Middlesbrough against Bristol City was a 2-1 win for Borough. Bristol City may be in a bit of bother. We'll have a look at the table in a second. Big of a thriller down at the Den. 1-1. Got called it, boys. Absolutely called it in the end. 1-1. Everyone's fair. Diaz with the double now. A 2-for-2 for him. And a 2-for-2 for Preston, of course, not in the right way. A 2-1 win for Reading on this one. 2-0 win for me. Preston are in a bit of bother at the moment. They need response and a really response now. Meanwhile, Huddersfield got an absolute spanking at home, tonking 5-1 win by Fulham in the end. 2-0 win for me, not too shabby. Hull City against QPR, went with the draw myself. 3-0 win for QPR, get another big away win there, of course, for some of the big boys. Of course, flexing the muscles as well. Forest also got beat by Bournemouth 2-1 at home. Of course, hopefully that will roll into midweek. Shooting's boys had a bit of a stuttered start. Of course, West Brom against Luton was a 3-2 win, goals galore in that one. Good response by Luton, but not good enough in the end. I actually went with a 2-2 draw myself. 3-2 in the end for West Brom. And then, of course, a ball draw at the end. Swansea City and Sheffield United do get to a 0-0 draw. No goals in that one. I got myself, what have I got there? 5, 6, 7. Ain't too shabby that in the end. Not too bad. Let's take a look at the table, of course, for the grand scheme of things. Top 10. We're in the top 10. Let's end it right now. We'll be in the playoffs, of course. Preston, Forest and Huddersfield going down at the moment. Derby doing all right. Well, sort of up there with 18th as well. Bristol City with just a point at the moment. But, of course, a win for either of these 10 could open up a bit of a gap already at the top, which we love to see. But again, we'll see how we go. So let's kick it off forward and take a look at the leaderboard for this week. And this week alone, I got myself 7. Some show I've got myself 10. And of course, we like Shane because he's a big fan of the channel, big fan of his as well. Somebody put me up there. Look, I'll take this guy, whoever this is, number 2. Put me up there with 9. I'll take that all day long. Respect whoever put my name up there. But of course, the overall leaderboard looks like this. There you go. A bit of a different spin of things. Creamy Jordan's up there with, of course, 15. Max Wiggins also up there with 15. Theo's up there with 15 as well. Then Leeds 2021. Gaming Charlie, not too far away. There is Shane O'Donnell. Forest 77, Ojo 52, and Shadow Ninja as well. Again, be sure to stick your correct name in there. Don't muck about and change it up a little bit. But keep an eye on this guy right here, Russell Frost. Russell Frost will be up there. He's playing the patient game. Eventually, slowly but surely, he'll creep up there. And again, you've got to keep on predicting. Got to keep on predicting to keep yourself up there and become king of the Championship, of course. But of course, it's a long season. Long season. You may be sick some days. You may not feel good about predicting, but make sure you keep on predicting. But anyway, to do that, of course, anything to match number 3, you've got to use this link, cut.me/champ number 3. You can use the QR code if you're savvy with a bit of a smartphone. But be sure to do that. Again, you don't have to join the prediction league, but if you want to not do the prediction league, just put your comments in down below and we'll let you, I'll take a good look at them and see how well you fare. But that's it. Let's get cracking into match number 3. Of course, looking forward to it. Kicking it all off with Blackpool up against Coventry. These games take place on Tuesday and, of course, Wednesday, midweek. All places are 13 times 2007. Blackpool have got 5 wins. Coventry got 4. There's been 4 draws. Of course, the biggest win for Blackpool over Coventry was a 4-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 3-1 win. Heading into this, the last time I played at Blackpool was a 2-0 win for Blackpool back in August 2018 in League One. Blackpool were victorious 2-0 in the end. Coventry just 1 win out of the past 3 between the two sides. Heading into this, Blackpool, not too shabby start. 1-1, lost 1, drew across all 2 competitions. Drew with Bristol City in the opening day. They did beat Middlesbrough in the Cup, and they did lose to Cardiff just the other day. As for Coventry, 1-1, lost 2 at the moment. Lost to Northampton in the league, lost to Barnsley as well just the other day, but opened up the count with a 2-1 win against Forest, who have a bit of a stuttered start as well. Look at the bookies odds. We have 31-20 for Blackpool, 11-5 is draw, 7-4 is your Coventry on this. For me, going to go with Blackpool on this one, 2-1 win at home, get the 3 points and start moving the chains. Next goes to Barnsley, taking of course Luton. That's right, a couple of years ago this was a League One encounter, but of course they are both here and of course respected these days. Played each other at Oakwell, is that right? Of course, played each other 19 times in 1993, 10 wins for Barnsley, 6 wins for Luton and 3 draws. The biggest win though for Barnsley over Luton was a 2-0 win. The biggest win for Luton over Barnsley was a 5-0 win. Heading into this though, of course last time played at Barnsley was a 1-0 win for Luton back in September 2020. In fact, heading into this, of course, Barnsley 1-1, lost 1, drew 1 as well. Drew with Cardiff on opening day on the road. They did lose to Bolton in the Cardiff Cup. They also beat Coventry just the other day. As for Luton, opening day 3-0 win against Peterborough. They lost to Stevie Wotsa. They lost to West Brom as well. But they are scoring goals. Also scored 5 goals in the first 3 games. However, they conceded 6 goals in the first 3 as well. So a little bit leaky at the back potentially, but again, they can't really count the Cardiff Cup on this one. What do we have on this? 11-10 for Barnsley. 12-5 is draw. 12-5 is your away win for Luton Town. I've gone with a 0-0 draw. I think Luton are a dark horse here to cause some problems, and of course probably get some more points. And again, starting here with Barnsley at Oakwell, 0-0 draw for them. Next, of course, Millwall up against Fulham in an all-London affair. Let's get into this one now. Played each other 7 times in 2014. Just 1 win for Millwall, 4 wins for Fulham, and 2 draws. Last time I played each other, we'll talk about that in a minute. The biggest win for Millwall over Fulham. In fact, the only win was a 1-0 win, and since those 7 matches, the biggest win the other way was a 4-0 win for Fulham over Millwall. Last time I played each other at Millwall was a 1-1 draw back in February 2020. Last time that Millwall won or got that one and only win. We're going to have to go back a bit. Back to 2014 in the Championship. It was a 1-0 win for Millwall over Fulham at Craven Cottage. Of course, heading into this, Millwall unbeaten in the last 3. Picked up a win in the Cardiff Cup against Portsmouth. They're back-to-back draws though in the league. Drawn with QPR, drawn with Rovers as well. As for Fulham, what are we looking at here? Of course, they drew opening day against Middlesbrough, picked up an away day, monster away day, win against Huddersfield 5-1. So they sit in that cluster of 10 teams with 4 points. Bookies odds 2-1 is your Millwall, 11-8 is your Fulham, and 11-5 is your draw. Tough one, this one. Going to go with another draw on this one. Millwall will be happier. I think Fulham will be a little bit pissed with that one. There's a big match here. Of course, Huddersfield up against Preston. Of course, 2 strugglers at the moment. Played each other 13 times since the year 2000. 3 wins for Huddersfield, 7 wins for Preston, and 3 draws. The biggest win for Huddersfield though over Preston was a 3-1 win. The biggest win the other way was a 3-0 win. Last time I played each other at the Macau Pine John Smith's Kirklees was a 2-1 win for Preston back in October 2020. Heading into this though, Huddersfield, yes, they did beat Sheffield Wednesday in the Cardiff Cup. They did draw with Derby 1-1 draw, but they did get their asses spanked by Fulham just today. As for Preston, 3 defeats on the spin for them. Scrap that, 2 defeats at +3. They did beat Mansfield in the Cardiff Cup. They lost to Hull heavily. They lost to Reading at the Matchday. But they have scored a couple of goals as well to give themselves something to fight about. 20-20 is your Huddersfield, 11-5 is draw, 90-10 is your Preston on this one. I'm going to go with Huddersfield to respond on this one. Preston again, a bit of a stutter start. They'll need to get some points probably at the back end of the month if they're going to avoid any long-term relegation woes. Kicking off forward though, it's Peterborough up against Cardiff. Of course, Cardiff doing okay. Peterborough not so great. Played each other 9 times in 2002. 5 wins for Peterborough, 3 wins for Cardiff, and 1 draw. Last time played each other, in fact we'll get to that in a minute. 2-0 win was the biggest win for Peterborough over Cardiff. The biggest win the other way was a 3-0 win for Cardiff over Peterborough. Last time played each other at Peterborough, at Posh, at wherever, the London Road, was a 2-1 win for Peterborough. That is on the ABAC Stadium. Was a 2-1 win for Peterborough back in March 2013 in the Championship, might I add. Peterborough of course opened up there with a 3-0 loss against Luton, followed that with a 4-0 loss against Plymouth in the Cup, and they also beat Derby though, 2-1 win to get themselves the first 3 points of the campaign. Cardiff though drew with Barnsley on opening day. They beat Sutton 3-2, bit of a thriller there, and they also beat Blackpool just to get themselves their first win of the campaign as well. Bookies odds on this one. What are we looking at? Peterborough up against Cardiff. We have 21-10 is your Peterborough, 30-10 is your Cardiff, and 23-10 is also your draw. Wow, and I've gone with the draw on this one, 2-2 in the end. Peterborough will be the happier. Cardiff will of course see this as a couple of drop points. Kicking off over the Battle of the S's, it'll be Swansea up against who are we?
Swansea up against Stoke. Of course, I don't have that one, do I? I have to go dig. I have to dig for this one. I have to work it. Swansea up against Stoke. I will not have the bookies odds on this one, but I'll give it. I'll give you some data to make your own call on this one. So Swansea up against Stoke, taking place on. I think this will take place on the Tuesday as well. Played the 20 times since 2011. 7 wins for Swansea, 10 wins for Stoke, 3 draws. The biggest win for either two sides was 2 to win over each other. Of course, Swansea starting to get themselves in a bit of shape here. Last time I played at Swansea was a 2 to win for Swansea back in October 2020. Heading into this though, Swansea lost to Rovers on over today. Did bounce back with a 3-0 win at the Matchday over Reading in the Cardiff Cup, and they followed up with a draw against Sheffield United. As for Stoke, of course, they did beat Reading, they did beat Fleetwood, they did draw with Birmingham, and they're in that cluster of 10 teams sitting at the top of the table. I don't have odds on them, but I'm going to go with a 2-1 for Swansea City, and of course, a bit of a dent in Stoke's plans for, of course, playoffs or if not promotion. Kicking off for Birmingham up against Bournemouth. Let's take a look at this one. Shall take place on Wednesday. Played 8 times since 2013, just the 1 win for Birmingham, 7 wins for Bournemouth, and no draws. The biggest win for Birmingham over Bournemouth was a 2-0 win. The biggest win the other way was an 8-0 win. That's right, for Bournemouth. And that 8-0 win was back in 2014 at St Andrews in the Championship, of course. However, last time I played at St Andrews was a 3-1 win for Bournemouth back in November 2020 in the Championship as well. Heading into this, of course, Birmingham though yet to concede a goal. Airtight defence. Of course, beat Sheffield United on opening day 1-0. They also followed that with a 1-0 win against Colchester United in the Cardiff Cup, and they followed that with a 0-0 draw against Stoke. So they yet to concede a goal. As for Bournemouth though, they did beat Milton Keynes 5-0. They drew with West Brom after 2-2, and they also squeezed by Nottingham Forest 2-1 in the end. It'll also be in that cluster of teams with 4 points at the top of the table. 2-1 win, and so are Birmingham as well in that cluster. 21-10 is your Birmingham, 9-4 is your 30-10 is your away win. That is Bournemouth on this one. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw on this one. Again, conceding the goal though for Birmingham, and maybe a good point, I'd say, for Bournemouth in the end. Kicking off forward though is Middlesbrough up against QPR and the Neil Warnock derby, I think you could say this one. Played the 20 times since 1995, 9 wins for Borough, 8 wins for QPR, 3 draws. The biggest win for Borough over QPR was a 5-1 win. The biggest win the other way was a 5-0 win. Heading into this one though, we do see Middlesbrough, of course, the last time played at the Riverside was 2-1 win for QPR. You've got to go back to 2019 for Middlesbrough's last win over QPR was a 2-0 win at the Riverside. Heading into this though, Middlesbrough opened up the campaign with a 1-1 draw, lost to Blackpool in the Cup, bounced back with a 2-1 win against Bristol City. As for QPR, they drew with Millwall on the opening day, 1-1 draw at Loftus Road. They did beat Leyton Orient in the Cardiff Cup, and they also followed that with a 3-0 win on the road at the KCOM against Hull. Look at the odds on this one. We have 30-10 for Middlesbrough, 23-10 is your draw, 2-1 is your away win. That's QPR. Gone with Middlesbrough on this one. QPR will take it on the chin. Move on to the next one. Dust yourselves down, because I think you're still going to be in that mix for top 6, if not more than that. Kicking off is Hull up against Derby. Of course, this could be a bit of a relegation scrap at the end of the season. We'll have to see. Played the 21 times since 2005. 8 wins for Hull, 10 wins for Derby, 3 draws. The biggest win for Hull over Derby was a 3-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 5-0 win. Heading into this one, what do we have on this one? Last time played at Hull was a 2-0 win for Hull back in October 2019 in the Championship, of course. Heading into this, Hull picking up a 4-1 win opening against Preston. They followed that up with a loss against Wigan and penalties in the Cardiff Cup, and of course backed that up with a 3-0 loss against QPR at the KCOM. So not the greatest bit of form at home. As for Derby though, they drew with Huddersfield opening day at Pride Park, squeezed past Salford on penalties with a 5-3 loss, a 5-3 win, and of course narrow loss against Peterborough on the road as well. So not bad start if the grand scheme of things, and again a chance to take on Hull, who are wobbling at the moment. 65 on is your Hull, 52 is your 65 is your away win. That is Derby County. I think Hull will win this one, only just, but I think there's a chance that Derby could cause some problems. And if they get an early goal, who knows? Next up, of course, we have the game of the day. It is Forest up against the Blackburn Rovers. Taking place on Wednesday. Played each other 29 times since 1994. 7 wins for Forest, 30 wins for Rovers, and 9 draws. The biggest win for Forest over Rovers was a 4-1 win. The biggest win the other way was a 7-0 win for Rovers. That's right. Of course, we scored 52 goals compared to 31. Of course, heading into this, last time played at the City Ground, that was a 1-0 win for Forest back in February 2021. In fact, Rovers have won 3 on the bounce. You've got to go back to 2019 for Rovers' last win. It was at the City Ground. It was a 2-1 win as well. Heading into this, though, what do we look at this then? Where, of course, Forest did lose to opening day to Coventry. Followed that with a 2-1 win against Bradford. Followed that up, though, with another loss against Bournemouth. Back-to-back losses in the league. As for Rovers' 2-1 win over Swansea, followed that with 2-1 loss against Morecambe. Followed that with a 1-1 draw against Millwall as well. Bookies odds. 6-4 is your Forest, 23-10 is your draw, 7-4 is your Rovers. Tight odds there. But I'll take this. I'll take another away day draw for Rovers, 1-1 in the end, in my eyes. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts, of course, in the prediction league and, of course, down below. Kicking on further, it is Reading Up against Bristol City, this back on Tuesday, then shall we? Of course, Reading and Bristol City not doing the best at the moment. Played each other 23 times in 1994. 14 wins for Reading, 7 wins for Bristol City, and 2 draws. The biggest win for Reading over Bristol City was a 4-1 win. The biggest win the other way was a 2-0 win. Last time they played each other at the Matchday was a 3-1 win for Reading back in November 2020. Heading into this, of course, Reading picked up an opening day loss, 3-2 loss against Stoke. Followed up with a 3-0 loss against Swansea in the Cardiff Cup. Followed up with a 2-1 win against Preston. To be, of course, not too far away from the tip of the top. As for Bristol City opening day draw against Blackpool, they did lose to the Vegans in the Cardiff Cup, and then followed up with a loss against Middlesbrough as well. So not really the perfect start for Bristol City on this one. Bookies odds 11-10 is your Reading, 5-2 short, 23-10 is your away win. That is Bristol City. For me though, I'm going to go with Reading to 2-0 win at home, 3 points in the bag, keep on moving. And then finally we have West Brom against Sheffield United, which could have been the Chris Wilder derby if Chris Wilder had taken over, but it's not. Valerian Ishmael, of course, is your governor at West Brom. Slasher Juganovic, of course, as your manager of Sheffield United. 2 of these teams, of course, probably competing for promotion at the end of the season. It could be a 6-pointer already. Played each other 26 times since 1994. 13 wins for West Brom, 10 wins for the Blades. Of course, 3 draws. The biggest win for West Brom over Sheffield United was a 3-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 6-0 win. Last time I played each other at the Baggies, or the Hawthorns, was a 1-0 win for West Brom back in November 2020 in the Premier League, of course. Heading into this, of course, what are we looking at? We're looking at West Brom unbeaten, of course, picked up a win and a draw. They drew with Bournemouth on opening day. They did just narrowly beat Luton 3-2 at the Hawthorns. As for Sheffield United, of course, they did lose to Birmingham on opening day, bounced back with a 1-0 win against Carlisle in the Cup, and of course they drew with Swansea. So just the 1 goal in the first 3 games. Airtight defence, conceded just 1 goal as well. So they're grinding out the results and just grinding out something. Anyway, 11-10 is your West Brom, 23-10 is your 5-2 is your Sheffield United. I think the Baggies will win this one 3-2 win, and of course will put themselves in contention to be outright leaders at the end of match number 3. That's my thoughts. Be sure to give me your own thoughts down below, of course, and also in the prediction league, get involved, of course, using the link cut.ly/champ number 3. That's the best way to do it. Of course, it is free to enter, so don't muck about. And again, if you jump in now, you've got a good chance to be in the mix at the end of this week, because of course it's a double match week. Be sure to give the video some love and smash the thumbs up, smash your subscribe. Check out the links down below on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, of course, Patreon as well. Until then, I'll see you soon for the next one, whenever that is.